Right, let's start again. All right. So welcome. I think someone just entered. Is that a Kylie that just entered into the chat? You haven't missed anything. So we were trying to get the recording button to work. Okay, so a little bit about me. So I came across these products after I'd gone through a really stressful period in my life, and everything was just affecting me mentally and physically. And I was so stressed and really struggling. And it wasn't until I tried a 30-day reset that I realized the reason I was in such a bad way was my gut health was not working. My health of my gut was so bad, but not only that, I struggled with stress so badly that the nutrients I was absorbing into my body weren't going to the places they needed to go. So it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't until I tried these products that I realized that things didn't need to be that bad and everything started to move forward for me. So it was a really big wake up call about how important nutrition is and why it's important to make sure we get enough protein, that we detox regularly, and that we also manage our stress. Now I'm going to let Chantel and Stu have a bit of a chat about their journey with the products and share with you their story.
Well, I'll start first because Stu had to be a copycat and didn't want me getting skinny on my own, so he jumped on board. So, girls, trust me, once you get on board, your hubbies are going to want a piece of it too. So Rach and I were on friends on Facebook. She reached out, wanted some things that I had, and I wanted some things that she had. So we did a bit of a shop swap, which was, in hindsight, the best thing that's ever happened to me. So
Both of us.
thanks, Rachel, for that. So basically, if someone ever offers you an opportunity, just say yes and figure out the details later, because that's half the fun of it. So my doctor had said to me, you need to lose a few kilos. Here, go to Chemist Warehouse, get some supplements for your brain fog, and part of your journey is you're just perimenopausal. So I'm like, okay. So I did all that. Well, I didn't lose the weight. I went to the chemist, got some supplements, and it did start to help with the brain fog. And then I started the detox program with Rachel, and I didn't even take a before photo, to be honest, because I just didn't think it would work. Like, I didn't think that I would lose weight. But I wanted to get healthier. So before long, I dropped 5 kilos, and I'm like, oh, I better take some photos because this is actually working. And then by this stage, Stu's then like, well, I want to try this. So I ordered the detox for Stu. I've just received a message here from a lady. She's just jumped on and ordered it. So it's just going crazy. So Stu, we ordered the detox for him. He did 2 attempts at the detox.
And didn't work. I wasn't keen at all. I couldn't go a whole day without food.
Yeah, he does a lot of physical work. So we're like, okay, well, what else can we do? So then we ordered you the shakes program. And silly me only ordered the 14-day reset because I looked at the price of it and thought, nah, I'm not spending that much money.
On me.
Silly me, silly me,
Love it.
because it's cheaper to buy the bigger pack
Long term.
straight up. So don't even think about it. Just buy the big pack and suck it up. So then he started the shakes and he hasn't looked back. He's lost over 10 kilo.
Mind you, my doctor didn't tell me I needed to do anything. He told me my heart was good, I had a brain, and everything was good. Didn't want to see me for 30 years. So,
But you
Wow.
weren't feeling good.
no. But at 95 kilo, trying to run and physically just really starting to struggle and fatigue.
Earphones so I can just like listen and keep walking.
Since I've been doing it, I've lost a bit over 10 kilo now. And even tonight I've been coaching under 10s in football, and I've been out running the oval with them. And honestly, 54, and I'm probably the fittest and feeling the best I have in 25 years. I reckon it's absolutely fantastic. Losing the weight, I've never been able to get under 90 kilo.
And that's even with doing Ironmans, triathlons, marathons,
Yeah.
all that stupid stuff.
Never. I've always weighed in the day before Ironman's at 90, 91 kilo. I'm absolutely loving life. I'm full of energy. I've got energy to burn. I love getting out with the kids and kicking a football and running around the oval with them. Work's easy, up and down ladders, 120 kilo heaters and moving them around nicely. I love the shakes. The shakes are really good. My favourite's probably the strawberry. But yeah, again, I love them all. The mocha special edition's been great. The chocolate's nice. So they're smooth, they're easy, they work well. I love our little shot of the morning that we have. I'm
You have
normally
an
up.
e-shot?
No,
The
our
Ionic
Oh,
Supreme.
Ionics, yes.
yeah. So I get up in the morning and make our shots.
And he's quite heavy-handed on those, I must say.
I
That's
actually don't
good.
mind it. Yeah. And then I normally with the shakes, I take them with me. So I mix them up and take them with me. I normally try and push the first shake. I have banana, but I normally try and push the first shake out until about 9:30, and normally have 15, 20 minutes, and then the second shake normally after I'm finished my first job, which is normally around 1:00, 1:30, and that easily gets me through until dinner time, about 5:36.
And it saves him a fortune. So I think we worked out a shake's roughly $5.75, $6 a shake. And he'd be spending $20 at Macca's every day. So it saves him time going to the looking for food. He'd go days, he'd come home and he wouldn't have either not eaten all day or eaten rubbish. So to take the shakes, he doesn't have to think.
And both didn't work. Eating all day, not eating all day wasn't good for me either. And then eating, like Tamborine Mountain's got this beautiful pie shop that has beautiful seafood pies. Well, I haven't had one in about 5 months, but
how far advanced
I'm
do you make the
always-
shakes? Just that morning.
That morning.
But we always boil water the night before, put the boiling water in the shakes, and then it cools down overnight and then make the shakes. We always use boiled water. So
amazing.
yeah.
What a great story, really. And you're both are perfect examples why this works so well. And there's a lot of science behind Isagenix and why it works so well. And you're both a great example of that and how if you follow it, it absolutely works. Now, this is Cheryl. Cheryl, you want to unmute and tell us a little bit about your story. So before you go on, I'm just going to say that if you look at the graphics, the first one was the 25th of May when you first started, and then the 14th of June, which was not even, or a bit over 2 weeks later. If you look at the waist measurements, so she started at 117 centimeters around her waist, and then on the 14th of June went down to 105. So that is massive for anybody that's talking weight loss. Your visceral fat sits around your waist. And generally, if you try any other kind of diet, it's the last thing to go. But the difference with Isagenix is that it targets your visceral fat, and that's what you can see in that diagram. So, Cheryl, you'll just need to unmute. Can you do that? There you go. And I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Rachel. So I have struggled a lot with my weight since I'll blame my children. We'll go that way. Because, my eldest, he's 17 in September. After I had him, I was I'd lost all the weight plus more, but I put that down to working all the time. Then number two, 7.5 years later, no, not quite 7 years later, I didn't work during my whole pregnancy. I didn't work afterwards. Then, not quite 4 years later, number 3 came along, and I just haven't been able to shift the weight. I got up to 100 and not quite 112 kilos, which is ridiculous. And I'd been watching Shen lose all her weight, and I was annoying her a lot, always asking questions, and then I was like, oh, I can't afford it, and then yeah, I just got the jack of not affording it and putting myself last, so I put myself first. Started out on the detox program, and the first couple were all right, but by the time I was into like week 4, week 5, I was getting massive headaches during the late afternoon. So I switched over, and I've been doing the shakes now, and that's when it really took off. But yeah, the shakes are so convenient. Like this morning, I had to work in a different town, and the lady I was going with came and picked me up, and she was early, so I was out the door shaking the hand while we're driving. So they're very convenient.
Yeah.
I've actually got since then my son is now doing, well, he hasn't started yet, but he's ordered the lean muscle pack that Rachel made up for us, because he's all skin and bones, and yeah, was wanting to, him and his mates are going to go to the gym and that sort of stuff, because one of them, he wants to get toned and Eli wants to gain muscle. So it's, yeah, he's like, oh, but I don't want to lose weight, Mum. I'm like, no, if we get the right stuff, we can help you gain muscle. So
That's great. That's an amazing story, Cheryl. And I'm so proud of what you've done, and you really stepped up, and you set up this Zoom call because you're so passionate about these products, and you can see it just in the changes that you're making.
Yeah.
And I'm sure energy wise, it's that's increased as well as the weight loss, which is so good.
I'm doing like 5K every day, where I'd struggle to do 2K.
Oh, amazing. That is so
Just
good.
walking the kids to and from like to school, and then I do, a lap home, and then of an afternoon I do it the opposite way, and some days I'll just add a little bit extra on. So yeah, but overall I've lost 15 centimeters from my waist and 20 from my hips. So
Amazing.
And the scales have told me I've lost 5 kilos nearly. So
and this is what we
not
we
too
always
worried.
No, exactly. And you know what? With this program as well, I always say to people, don't worry so much about the scales, go by your measurements, because muscle weighs more than fat. And what this program does is it protects your muscle. In some cases, it builds a denser quality of muscle, which boosts your metabolism. And then you won't always see that reflected on the scale, because your muscle's getting denser. And your fat's moving, and muscle weighs more than fat. So always go by your measurements. So that is just fantastic, Cheryl. So proud of you. So what Cheryl's been doing basically is the 30-day reset. And it is a program that's been working for the last 24 years. It was invented by a guy called John Anderson. The products were invented by a guy called John Anderson. Now, he actually put this together because he had diabetes, and he needed something to help him lose weight. Nothing was working. And he came up with the formula, which is protein pacing, cortisol reduction, and detoxing. And those 3 things together make a huge difference. And 99, in fact, I don't know any other diet on the market that is encompassing those 3 things. Most diets focus on calories. We hardly mention calories. It's all around protein, cleansing and detoxing. And if you get that part right, the rest falls into place. So I'll go into this in a bit more detail for you. As I mentioned, protein pacing. Now, super important. One of the things that we stopped doing as a society many years ago is we started dropping protein and increasing carbs in the form of processed food. And processed food is everywhere. You cannot leave your house without seeing a processed food restaurant or some kind of takeaway store. And what those people do to make a profit is they take out the expensive protein and the expensive nutrients and replace it with things like fillers, toxins, and chemicals to make it go further, and it's cheaper to produce and they make more money. So we're the guinea pig on the other side that's no longer getting the right quality of protein that we need to exist and live to our full potential. So what does a shake day look like? Now, I noticed you mentioned this, and also you, Cheryl, as well. It's really simple. It's super, super simple. It's just rinse and repeat 6 days a week. You do 2 shakes, and you can choose whether you do them morning or lunch and dinner, or any combination. Along with that, you also have the incredible Ionics Supreme, which I'll go into in a bit more detail shortly. There's a snack involved in there if you feel like you need a snack. And then dinner is a 400 to 600 calorie meal. Now, that's pretty much the only time we talk about calories. So we don't want you to go crazy at dinner time, but it needs to be protein based. So super important that you get that part right. But it is super, super easy. And if you follow it, there's a couple of supplements in there as well. The magic just happens. It is next level amazing. Now, one of the other things that we've just added into the program is the clear protein. Now, for those of you who aren't sure, the correct amount of protein that you should be trying to consume every day. Now, when I say the correct amount, a lot of people just cannot eat enough to get the correct amount in. So this is something you want to aim towards. If you're not quite hitting it yet, it's not a big deal, but you want to aim for 2 grams of protein per kilo of your ideal body weight per day. So that's the goal weight that you want to be. So for example, if it's 60 kilos, the protein you need to consume in a day is 120 grams. So it is just something to keep in top of mind, because what happens is when you eat enough protein, it acts like a GLP-1, and we all know what that's about. It's been in the news and the media so much. GLP-1 stop you being hungry, and the reason we need them is because our diet is so processed, we're not getting enough protein. But if you're eating the right type of protein, you won't have cravings, you won't feel like snacking all day long, and your body will start to think, oh my goodness, she's actually looking after me. I can start functioning properly. So it is really important. Now, this is an example of what a normal day would look like. This is Sally. So her goal weight is 65 kilos. So what she's aiming to do is 130 grams of protein per day. So what she's starting off with is breakfast, a shake, which is 24 grams of protein. Now, when we're talking about shakes, there is a big difference between Isagenix shakes and supermarket shakes. So the Isagenix company makes sure they triple test everything. They make sure there's nothing in there, no preservatives, no pesticides, herbicides, dioxins, PCBs, heavy metals, nothing. So it's triple tested, it's 100% pure. And also the whey comes from New Zealand grass-fed cows. And that's because it is the best whey in the world. And there are these cows, and you can imagine, they're all happy cows. So that, believe it or not, makes a difference. If you have a cow that's sad, it's getting cortisol in its milk and then it's getting transferred to you. So all those little things make a big difference. It's also under-natured, which just basically means it's not heat treated. So you're preserving the bioavailability of the whey, and it gets to your muscles faster. So that is why I'm always saying to people, don't buy whey protein shakes from the supermarket. There is a big, big difference. when you start putting the right nutrients into your body will actually achieve optimal health. But you can't do that if you're putting subservient nutrients into your body. Okay, so you can see on the screen there what her day looks like. With all the extra addition of 20 grams of protein from the protein, the clear protein, it really helps her hit her protein targets. Now, eating like that, she would be so full and really not craving anything at all. And she's giving her body the best nutrients possible. And it's amazing what happens when you actually do give your body the right nutrients. It actually starts working correctly, like it should. It's crazy. We don't think about the food that we're putting in our mouth, what it's doing to you. And I like to say that the food on your fork is either harming you or healing you. There's no in between. So you want to have healing nutrients on your fork, and that is clean, a clean food that's healthy and nutritious. Now, these shakes aren't the only thing that you eat on the 30-day reset. There's a whole bunch of food that you can still have as long as it's clean. Now, if you make the food yourself, 9 times out of 10, it would be clean, but we give you meal plans and recipes, so you don't have to try and work it all out yourself. But it becomes a really simple process once you know how that all works. The other part of the system, one of the core staples of the system is adaptogens. Now, adaptogens are special little herbs that actually help your body adapt to stress. Now, what normally happens when you go on a diet of any kind, your body says, oh my God, she's trying to starve me. I'm stressed. And it starts holding on to the calories that you're putting in. So the weight that you were hoping to lose, actually, you can't lose it, because what happens when you're stressed, your body produces cortisol, and cortisol is known as the fat storage hormone. So many people, when they go on a diet, they're stressed. They don't even realize it, but they're stressed because they're not eating their favorite waffles, they're not having a burger, they're not doing what they normally do, and their body starts to react. So adaptogens are one of the reasons why this program works so well. And this is the Ionic Supreme. Now, this is the same herbal drink that if you went to a naturopath, the first thing they would do is prescribe you a whole bunch of horrible tasting herbs, get you to boil it on the stove and drink it. And it is horrible. This, thankfully, is not horrible. It actually tastes okay, but it really does make a huge difference to helping your body release the cortisol, and stress is cumulative. So if you've lived any kind of a life, you're going to be dealing with accumulated stress. And this is where the Ionics makes a huge difference in how the results end up in the long term. So Ionics. Now, the other part of the system is cleansing, or you might want to call it detoxing. It doesn't kind of matter which way you look at it. It's the same kind of thing. So you can see here a traditional diet, which I mentioned before. The fat stored to protect impurities in the first diagram. So the impurities are the little dots. You go on a diet, you lose some of the fat, but you've still got all the impurities in you. And as soon as you go off that diet, you put all the weight back on plus more. The difference with cleansing, the fat stored is, the toxins are moved out of the fat. So you can see the second diagram, there's not as many toxins. And then when you go off the program, you don't put the weight back on again, because the toxins don't need to be stored in your fat anymore. They've been released from your body. So that is a big, big thing. And you can see the visceral fat in these diagrams and how unhealthy it is, but it is one of the most hardest fats to lose unless you do a detox. So cleanse day looks like a little drink that we call Cleanse for Life, that you have 4 times a day. You make sure you drink enough water. So I always say 3 liters of water a day is absolutely the amount that you need to be consuming every day. If you can't do that just straight up, just build up to it. And what this does is it helps your body go into a space called autophagy, which basically means your cells are cleaning themselves out from the inside. So it's getting rid of debris, disease, toxins, all of those things that are going to cause you harm and make your body not work correctly. So after about 18 hours, your body starts to go into that autophagy. And then after 24 hours, it really starts to kick in. The most that you should do for a cleanse day is 2 days. And even if you only get to, 8 hours or 10 hours, you're still doing an amazing thing for your body. So it doesn't have to be the full 24 hours, but if you can get there, fantastic, because it's going to make a huge difference. Now, this is a picture of another client that went through a 30-day reset. She lost 6 kilograms of visceral fat. And you can see the 3 pillars to success, which is basically nourishing, which is protein pacing, lowering cortisol, and cleansing. So it really does work extremely well. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I'm good, I don't need to lose weight, I'm amazing, I look great, then you might be interested in the collagen. And this is another one of our core systems in the Isogenic stable because it works so, so well. A lot of women and men are getting their hands on this because they're sick of seeing the wrinkles. Now, collagen works from the inside out, but you've also got to have the right quality of collagen. If you're using collagen that is powdered or bought from a shop or a chemist, it's most likely only 50% bioavailable to your body, if that, maybe less. The Australian supplement industry is not regulated, so you can go to a chemist and buy what you think is 100% pure, good quality, but chances are it's not because there's no regulation, no body that's regulating what you're buying from a chemist. I only regulate medications, but not supplements. So we have all the science behind this as well, plus the scientific studies that actually have the results as well attached to it and the reasoning why. So it's very, very popular. Now, if you're on this call and you haven't yet joined or started on a 30-day reset or haven't, decided to overhaul your health, but you're thinking that you would like to, these are some of the prices. So we've got the collagen elixir, and you can buy that in a few different ways. Beauty booster bundle, and there's different prices there. And then our most loved pack. So they're the ones, the 30-day reset, the 2-week reset, and then we have an ultimate reset, which has the collagen and the pack as well. So you've got some options there. But as Shan was saying earlier, it's better to go for the bigger pack because you save so much money. And always think of it as a redirection of your grocery bill. But this is not on top of, this is instead of. So when you see that amount, just remember that is the case. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do a draw, right? So I'm going to, in fact, Shan, I'm going to let you do this. If you can tell me, I'm just going to written down people's names.
A number?
Yeah, give me a number between 1 and 8, let's say.
1 and 8. Okay. Let's split it down the middle and go 4.
Okay. So that would be, oh, hang on. I better just pick another number. I've got the 2 4s.
Oh, okay.
3.
Oh, 3.
Okay, so that's Kylie Lynch.
Woohoo!
Yes, yay! Well done, Kylie. I think she's got there she
Thank
is.
you.
Well done.
Thank you.
So excited for you. That's amazing. That'll be coming from head office for you. Now,
Thank
if you're
you.
on this call right now and you're thinking, I need this stuff, I need to get on this program, it sounds amazing. We do have a special bonus just for you. which is the adaptogen elixir. Now, this, as I mentioned before, adaptogens are just the best thing on the planet. We all need them. This is a different version of Ionix. It's actually got gut health in it as well. And it's something that you can take in addition to Ionix, but it is just an all-round good way to help cortisol levels stabilize, but also helps you sleep. So it is one of my favorite products. And if I don't have this in the fridge every day, I'm stressing about getting more. So this is for anybody that would like to give it a whirl. And don't forget, you've got a money back guarantee as well. If you decide, halfway through it's not for you, you just get your money back. But seriously, no one does that because it is such a good protein. Now, what I thought I would do is let anyone that wants to ask some questions or check in, either pop them in the chat or unmute yourself and feel free to say a couple of words or ask some questions. But aside from that, we are pretty much done for our call. Before we go though, for new people on this call, so that would be Selena, what I'd really like you to do, if you can, Selena, is give Cheryl your details, so address details, so we can send that pack out to you. And Katie, the same for you. I think I might have your details. I'm not sure, but I'll make sure a pack gets out to you. Has anyone else not been on one of these calls before? I think it's just the two. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for coming along tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope that you learned something from tonight's call. Please let the person that invited you to this call know if you would like to organize a 30-day reset or some collagen, and it'll be an absolute pleasure to coach you and make sure you get amazing results. So see you later, everyone. Have a great night. Reach out if you've got any questions. Here to support you.